Hello everybody. We don't have much nature, so I'm just going to show a view outside my window because I'm back in the city. But today I want to explore human identity through some unorthodox ways. And today I want to look into the idea of absurdity, the paradox that explains the heart of human identity, the fact that people are willing to kill and die and transform the world not for what is materially rational, but for beliefs that defy logic, contradict evidence, and fly in the face of biological self-preservation. And thus, the power of absurdity is not a condemnation of irrationality, but an attempt to explain why irrational beliefs are often more powerful than rational ones. The absurd is just a form of symbolic rupturing, marking a place where meaning is not derived from reason, but from sacrifice, identity fusion, and transcendental commitment. Studying radicalization, we can see that groups are bounded by sacred values that are non-negotiable, emotionally charged beliefs. And those groups tend to be more cohesive and are more willing to take costly actions than other groups driven by material incentives. The principle of the power of absurdity would explain why ideologies that seem absurd to outsiders can motivate intense loyalty and action. It's the absurdity itself that proves the believer's commitments. So if one is willing to suffer for something that defies common sense, that sacrifice becomes a ritual of belonging, becomes a currency of identity, and a demonstration of invincibility. Absurd beliefs are immune to standard logic because they operate on a different level, not empirically, but existentially. People who kill, die for a flag, a book, or a prophecy are not miscalculating. They're literally operating under a different value system where dignity, purity, or eternity matter more than life itself. So in practical terms, this offers a critical insights into ideological warfare, political mobilization, and collective identity formation. Attempts to dissuade radical groups through fact-checking, logical appeals, or economic incentives usually fail because they misread the core motivational structure. You cannot debate somebody out of a belief that grants them purpose, tribal belonging, and symbolic immortality. So by this logic, this logic is not limited to extremists. Even in secular societies, the same principles shape national myths, brand loyalties, and personal identity. So why do people fight over flags, sports teams, or even abstract notions like freedom or tradition? It is because these symbols hold irrational value precisely due to their emotional and non-negotiable significance. Thus, it reveals the truth. Thus it reveals why truth cannot compete with meaning unless it becomes sacred. It also explains why rational appeals often lose to poetic ones. It can also suggest that if you want to inspire real allegiance, you must create or align with values that people are willing to defend even when they stop making sense. Thus, absurdity is not a weakness. It is a fuel. If harnessed wisely, it becomes a binding agent of collective will. Left unchecked, it becomes a weapon of fanaticism. Thus, the power of absurdity in its ability to bypass the mind and imprint itself on the soul, the subconscious. And for those who wish to shape the world, understanding this mechanism is not only optional, but is also extremely fundamental. This is very interesting when I think about it because it would explain why somebody with a different point of view, identity, etc. may not get what you're going through, quite literally, because you find their entire worldview absurd or backwards. Alas, I guess this gives a little bit of agency to us to not try to convince other people if it's very clear that they're not listening, and I hope this theory helps explain why they wouldn't listen in the first place. Let's have a conversation down below. Let me know about the most absurd moment in your life or a moment where people thought you were absurd.